went out to the Yeti Yard. I haven't asked you about this yet with the Yeti Yard. And for folks who don't know what that is, the Yeti Yard is the area beyond the left field fence, left center power alley, not where occupied left field is way down the line, but where the left center power alley is, right at the 370 mark. So it's a clear fence there. And there are chairs set up in there and a couple of concession areas in there, sponsored by Yeti. So it's the Yeti Yard. And there were a couple of home runs hit out there last night. And fans got real excited and all that. But didn't you say you had some friends who were hanging out in the Yeti Yard last night?
Yeah, I had some friends. They came to the game, and then about the fifth, sixth inning, I was like, hey, there's this Yeti Yard over there. It's free to get in. Drinks are cheaper. Let's go out there. So we went out there. We checked it out, caught the last, 3 or 4 innings of the game. And, yeah, I liked it. I liked it, Craig. It's free to get in, obviously. You got some, $300 Yeti chairs. I didn't know Yeti was making chairs until last night. And they have these coolers where you can actually bring in your beer and you can put them in the Yeti coolers. You can sit on the Yeti coolers. They sell hot dogs. And there was a couple of home runs hit in that area. I'm actually, one of my friend's nieces came, left with 2 baseballs. Her first ever baseball game, left with 2 home run balls last night. A fun experience. And it's a really cool addition that CDC and UT brought to the dish.
I did not know that it was free admission.
Yeah.
To the Yeti Yard. So is it just kind of first come, first serve?
So I believe it can hold up to 148 people. And then after that, it's, one person leaves, the next goes in. Now, there wasn't 148 in there last night. But I think there was probably about 50 to 60 when we got there. A handful of college students who were absolutely giving it to the Houston Christian center fielder last night. Poor guy. But yeah, I think it can hold up to 148. Now, there's only about maybe 15 chairs.
Okay.
So, and I don't know if you can bring chairs in. Maybe if you can bring in those, foldable ones.
Yeah.
But, if you do go, expect to stand. But there's not really a lot of room to put more chairs in it because it's a pretty tight piece of property. But it is a cool and unique way to view a baseball game. And of course, you can, if you go to the game and tailgate with Occupy Left Field or anyone else, you bring your own beer, you can walk in to the Yeti Yard with your own beer. So you can save some money. It's BYOB.
Okay. Were you down there when Casey Borba hit his home run last night?
We were.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
A Borba bomb.
A Borba bomb. You heard it first right here. Longhorn baseball team did win, and then some last night, 20-3 over Houston Christian. I've had some people text me, why did they play the full 9 innings? Why didn't they hold it after 7? In non-conference play, there's not a rule that says you have to stop after 7. It's up to the coaches. And Ty Arrington talked about it last night on the broadcast, but sometimes it's a signal that goes back for maybe a little bit of a white towel wave or whatever. But both head coaches, Lance Berkman from Houston Christian, David Pierce from Texas, wanted to play the full 9 because it's very early in the season. They wanted to get a look at different guys, different position players, different pitchers. David Pierce subbed out his entire defensive lineup on the field by the time the game got to the 8th inning. Every player had been subbed out. And several pitchers as well. So that's why. And HCA did that as well. And it gives guys like a Casey Borba and some of the other, Oliver Service, who got a hit in his first at bat and came around and scored a run. It gives Casey Cummings and Seth Worcham and Cam Constantine and Sam Ardoin, all of those guys a chance to play, as well as Max Blue came in and Tommy Farmer who came in, Jaden LaPlantier who came in addition to the starters who were out there. So it was fun last night. They won 20-3. Longhorns are 3-1. Next action comes up on Friday night as Texas will be taking on Cal Poly. 3-game weekend series. The Mustangs, coming out of the Big West Conference, are really good mid-major collegiate baseball league. This is the same conference that has Cal State Fullerton and Long Beach State and UC Irvine. And I think Cal State Northridge is in that as well. It's a good mid-major collegiate baseball league. And Cal Poly's in that as well. So they will be in Friday night game, Saturday afternoon game, Sunday afternoon game. We're going to hear from David Pierce coming up a little later on. Tonight, The Texas women are in action against Texas Tech's Lady Raiders at Moody Center. Texas won the first meeting handily in Lubbock, 74-47, and that was their first conference win. Remember, they lost their conference opener at home to Baylor, and that was their first real full game without Ori Harmon. I mean, she didn't play the night of the injury when she had it in shoot around against Jackson State, but really and truly the first game where they knew they were going to have to game plan without her was Baylor, and they lost that home game, but came back. They seemed to be in a state of flux, and the freshman Madison Booker started to take command and control and played really well, and they won going away in the game in Lubbock. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll visit with Mark Finkner, play-by-play voice for Texas Tech Lady Raider basketball. But we did want to hear something from Vic Schaefer, and we'll hear at different points comments from him. So here's some comments he had from his media availability yesterday, some opening comments to the media on the eve of this game.
Another week, another life in the Big 12. Obviously, proud of our kids. They continue to work, continue to get better, continue to compete at a really high level, and just another week, another week of great competition in our league. So got to really get ready to play a team that's always played us tough over the years. They're always prepared and well coached. Krista does a great job with them, and we'll have to play really well tomorrow night. They've got really good players. They've got, we did a nice job the first time we played them defensively. Watched that film again last night and came away not really thinking we played that well. Remember, we didn't have Taylor, and we were in our second conference game with Booker at point, and but we did manage to guard them pretty well. And I think Amo and Deanna Gaston had big nights for us. So we gotta play better. They're a lot better than they were, a month ago, and so we're gonna have to play a lot better. I know somebody will bring up maybe Sunday, but sometimes you just have those nights, and I don't really think about that. That's, sometimes those things just happen, and so they've been obviously playing a lot better. They've got some good wins on their record, and again, I have a lot of respect and admiration for that program, for Krista and their staff, and so we're going to have to play well. But happy for our kids, really proud of Book, be player of the week and freshman of the week. As Danny has chronicled, it's first time since Celeste Taylor, and then before that, you have to go back to Brittany Griner at Baylor, if I read that right, Danny. So it's pretty good company and pretty special. But we all know, we've been watching it all year, the kid is really special. And I think our team has really embraced her and her role and the responsibility that she has. And they're all doing their part to help her along. And she's just gotten more and more comfortable as the season's gone on. And I think that's evident in her play. And so we'll get ready for a tough ball game tomorrow night.
That was his comments yesterday. Of course, tomorrow night is now tonight, as Texas will take on the Texas Tech Lady Raiders at 7 o'clock. Coming up next, the voice of Lady Raider basketball, Mark Finkner, joins us. We'll take a look at that. We'll hear from David Pierce coming up at the 3 o'clock hour. We have Inconceivable later on this hour. Gene Watson from the Chicago White Sox front office will join us in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll talk some spring training baseball with him, but I also want to ask him, there was a story today on, I think, ESPN.com about potential expansion for Major League Baseball. And they had a list of expansion targets. You want to take a guess at the number one expansion city in this article? Yeah, Austin, San Antonio was listed as the number one possible expansion target. So we'll talk to Gino about that and some other things as well here on this Wednesday afternoon on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app.
Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. Longhorns basketball plays here.
Goes up strong reverse side. What a lay-in. Brock, Hunter lobbing it in for Dylan Mitchell, who slams it down.
Smith drive left side, kicks to Sue. The finish.
Here goes Hunter behind the back pass. Into Weaver. Into lays it in. Oh, goodness. What a way to close out the first half.
Longhorns basketball plays here. Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
South by Southwest Music Festival returns to Austin March 11th through 16th with a new lineup of legendary and rising talent. Join us for South by Southwest 2024 and get ready to discover your next favorite artist. Register today at sxsw.com.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The needs of modern businesses are always changing, but corporate cards haven't evolved in decades. Until now. Meet Ramp, the all-in-one finance platform that combines corporate cards with spend management software. Ramp is the only card designed to actually help your business spend less, not more. With Ramp, you can set custom controls to stop out-of-policy spend before it even happens. And Ramp software even does expense reports for you. No more manual entries, no more chasing receipts. And with best-in-class accounting integrations, you'll close your books in days, not weeks. Ramp gives you better insights and a real-time view of all company spend, so you can stay focused on the big picture and build a healthier business. Join over 15,000 businesses who have switched to Ramp and start saving an average of 5%. Modern finance runs on Ramp. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. That's ramp.com/sports.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear.
I do overthink everything.
Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
I should just get fake plants.
It's the President's Day sale at Mattress Firm. Get a king bed for a queen price. Save up to $700 plus a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. See a lower price? We'll match it. The right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
According to TxDOT, on average, one motorcyclist dies every day on Texas roads. If you or a loved one were injured in a motorcycle crash, call Thomas J. Henry. To learn more or start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
License number M18951, TACLB 76656E.
A lot of businesses talk about fast service, but then you find out those promises didn't mean much.
Yeah, that's when your definition of fast is very different than the service providers.
When it comes to plumbing emergencies, a promise like same-day service really matters.
Especially when you're standing in 2 inches of water in your living room.
Absolutely. You know, Sarah and I started Radiant Plumbing and Air Conditioning here in Austin in 1999.
Gosh.
So we've seen some bad plumbing emergencies.
Remember the guy who opened his front door and toilet water literally flowed out onto the porch?
Yeah, and you know that wasn't just water either.
Gross, gross, gross.
That was bad.
We're committed to giving you same-day emergency service.
Because when your pipes back up or your water stops running, you can't wait for help.
Radiant Plumbing and Air Conditioning, same-day emergency service.
When quick response matters, call Radiant, 263-9988.
There's no extra charge, just extra speedy response. I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's do your part again.
What?
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain from arthritis or injury? Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk and run and play and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 512-593-4303. 512-593-4303. 512-593-4303.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 original stations waiting for you to explore right now, like 24/7 comedy.
Men don't settle down. We surrender.
Women, we never express the emotions we're actually feeling, right? I'm fine means I'm about to stab you in the neck.
Clips from today's top comedians and the greatest of all time.
Donut hole. If you want a donut, have a donut. Why are you eating the hole?
When you need a laugh, just open the free iHeartRadio app and search comedy.
You can actually change the station.
iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
It's the Hard Knocks Life Show. Weekdays 7 to 9 a.m. Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. It's the Craig Way Show with the voice of the Texas Longhorns and Hall of Fame broadcaster, Craig Way.
I can tell you've been hurt by that look on your face, girl. So I probably said,
All right, I got to ask you the inspiration for. I got to know what possible reason you would have for a return cut being from the Osmonds. This is one bad apple. I remember this is early 70s, maybe 72-ish.
You're not a fan of Donnie and Marie?
Oh, come on. And this is before Marie got in the picture. This is the Osmond brothers back then with Donnie, who would sing in there. That's him, the little voice right there. That's him. That's Donnie with the falsetto there.
It's before all the plastic surgery.
Yeah.
This is number one on this day, 1971. So we're going to go through 71 today. Go through all the hits. Chris, just bring you back to your childhood.
Yeah, well, I was, childhood there. And really about the same age as Donnie Osmond. We're about the same age, something like that, I think. A guy who's definitely younger than me is the play-by-play voice of Texas Tech, Lady Raider basketball. I've known him a long time. He's done been on the sidelines for football. He's done men's basketball, women's basketball, baseball. He's Mark Finkner, who is the sage of the South Plains, as he joins us on the hotline. How you doing, Fink?
Man, I'm good, and you're giving everybody out there way too much credit. I'm way closer in age than you might like to think, but it's all good.
Yeah, I hear you. When I was out there on January 3rd, I mean, so much, a lot's changed, and it does during the course of a college basketball season. But when you and I were talking, when I got out there, when the Texas women went out to play their second Big 12 game, they were coming off a loss to Baylor. They seemed kind of lost in the wilderness at the time, even though Madison Booker had shown some things early. There was no question this was Rory Harmon's team. And when she blew out her knee, when she had the ACL injury in the shoot-around prior to the Jackson State game, and they were able to sleepwalk through that and win, but they still seemed in a fog when they played Baylor, got down like 14-2 and never completely recovered. They came back, made it a game, but they lost the game. So I wasn't sure at all which Texas team was going to take the floor against Texas Tech. And it was very competitive for about 2.5 quarters. Then the Longhorns pulled away and won the game. But it's a lot's changed with Texas. Now, at the time that Texas was playing Texas Tech, Lady Raiders had gotten off to a good start. But I know just like every other team in the Big 12, Tech has had to deal with injuries as well, and the grind of the Big 12 conference schedule. So take us kind of through what it's been like for Krista Gerlich for this ball club throughout the course of the fight in Big 12 play.
Well, no doubt. I mean, you fight, and that game against Texas in early January was not pretty. I mean, Texas played outstanding defense. We had a hard time that night just trying to run consistent offense. But then you come back, Tech comes back, they beat KU on Saturday. They get to 3-2. They knocked off Iowa State. It was number 1 in the league at that time. And then they win 3 out of 4. Then they had that Oklahoma State trip where just some things didn't go right, which, that's life on the road. But then you come back, you win 3 out of 4, and you finish the first half 16-6, 5-4 in the Big 12. And you're thinking, man, we got this thing where you want it, even in spite of some things that you're in a good spot for an NCAA tournament bid. Then in retrospect, it's almost like I wonder if our bye didn't come at the worst time possible, because you were playing good. You have the bye in the midweek, then you have a 2-team road trip to Cincinnati and West Virginia. The Cincinnati game on Saturday did not play well at all. And yet you're within 1 starting the fourth quarter and thought, okay, because you were down 10 a couple of times in that quarter, got it back. They come back, you get it back to 1. You have the ball to start the fourth quarter. You turn it over. They go down and score. Before you know it, it's a 4-0 run and the game is over. And then you've got to get on a bus. You work out Sunday. Then you get on a bus, you go 5 hours to Morgantown, and several teams are doing this. In fact, I think Baylor's doing it the other way this weekend, where you go to West Virginia. And I don't know how it's going to be for Texas going to the SEC, but I think for the Big 12 with the Arizona schools, Colorado, Utah coming in, I don't think you're going to see true travel partners. But I think you are going to see some scenarios where to help save travel, because the Big 12 is truly going to be a national conference, that you're going to see some of that. And it's been worked into several teams' schedules, including Tech. So instead of flying home, turn around, going back to Morgantown makes no sense. It's like driving Lubbock to Dallas. It's a 5-hour bus ride. You go to Morgantown, and West Virginia is good. I mean, they had a clunker against you guys. Every team has had a clunker here and there. We had a clunker at West Virginia after that. And then you have several more injuries on top of what you had. And you see where they're at right now, having lost 5 in a row. But this team, it's not been on the defensive end. They continue to play hard on the defensive end. The West Virginia game notwithstanding, they've kept the last 3 opponents in the 60s, including Baylor on Sunday. It's just, when you turn it over 29 times like they did on Sunday, you're not going to beat anybody. And just, you got to kind of shake that off. You realize you got 4 games left here. I still think a win or 2, and I think Tech will be in the WNIT again. I mean, that was not the goal coming into the season, but you're having to deal with this when you basically, you've not had your point guard in your 4 or 5 all year, and now you have some of these injuries to some of your bigs. We haven't seen Alina Enrique in 4 or 5 games. We hadn't seen Jordan Merritt in a couple of games. Merritt's been your leading rebounder in the Big 12, so Tech has been a little bit smaller. So it will be interesting to see how Coach Gerlich's team adapts to some things, here in this stretch drive. But this team, I think there's still there is some confidence there still. So and they're going to continue to play hard. We'll see, how it shakes out tonight, because obviously this is a huge challenge. I mean, Texas is a top 5 team for a reason, and in my opinion, I think this is Vic's best team that he's had in the 4 years. And I mean, obviously, if he had Rory, I think they got a legitimate shot to go all the way. Now that doesn't mean they still couldn't, because Madison Booker's special, no doubt. She cuts the turnovers down, and I think she's been doing that more as conference play has continued, because she's gotten, as you well seen, she's gotten more and more into that role of being the point guard for this team. So it will be an interesting game, and obviously there's a ton of nostalgia when you talk Tech in Texas, as I believe it's for both sides. I know it is for the Tech side.
Sure it
I think
is.
it is for the Texas side as well, in terms of this is the 112th time that these two schools meet, the most that either school has played against any opponent. And the fact that tonight's going to be the last time in the regular season. There's a little bit of sadness to that. But at the same time, I mean, you understand. And I think at some point, football is going to do their thing. This thing's going to get regionalized to the other sports at some point because of money. And I think Tech and Texas will be in a same conference again at some point, just not for a while.
The play-by-play voice of Texas Tech Lady Raider basketball joining us, Mark Finger. Hey, Fink, I want to ask you about a couple of players. One is Jasmine Shavers, and she of course was recruited by Vic Schaefer to Mississippi State, and he knows her really well, and she's played really well. She's a Metroplex kid out of John Horn High in Mesquite, and it's a kid who's capable of knocking down a three, but a kid who runs the floor pretty well for Tech.
She does. I mean, the fact that she's sitting here 11th in the conference at 13.5 points per game. I mean, she's been in double figures 20 times this year. I mean, she's been a very consistent scorer for you, but like everybody the other day against Baylor, struggled from the floor. In the first matchup against Texas, had a three, had 9 points. She is a player that you definitely, that this team relies on for scoring, no question. But Craig, probably where she has improved the most is on the defensive end and becoming a rebounder, because without Jordan Merritt, the last few games, Jazzy has been your leading rebounder at over 5 boards a game. I mean, the fact that she's only 5'8", but she does a great job of having a nose for the ball and going to get it. So knowing that you've lost one of your better rebounders here recently, but she's been that way all year for you. I mean, she's been a great rebounding guard. I think that's where the improvement for her and for Bailey Maupin, both in their sophomore years, because last year they could come in as freshmen. You had 5 seniors last year, and they could kind of come in and and play more offense with. I mean, they're both offensively very gifted, no question. But this year, both of those players becoming much more complete type players.
Well, that's who I was going to ask you about next, is Bailey Maupin. And for folks who don't know about Bailey, she was a great, and I mean great, girls high school basketball player at Groover at the 1A level, at the smallest level. And if by the way, if you don't know where Groover, Texas is, you can practically throw a rock from Groover north and it'll land across the state line in Oklahoma.
Yeah, in Oklahoma, no doubt.
And
no doubt.
And I saw her play obviously at the state tournament, and saw her play very well, and was a dead eye shooter as well. And I have noticed that her total game has picked up, even though obviously Lady Raiders going to look to her if they need a key 3 down the stretch.
Well, right, but not having Jazzy Jackson, who you thought was going to be your point guard at the start of the year when she tore her Achilles, that Bailey's had to kind of take on. It's been more of a point guard by committee. I mean, it's been her, Jazzy some, Ashley Chevalier, the former Lady Longhorn some, have all taken their turns at that. And the fact that Bailey has had to become more of a ball distributor, that's why her numbers have been down just a little bit, but still she's been in double figures 21 times. In just under 2 years, she's already scored 700 points, 200 rebounds, and she's been a real good assister. In fact, I think it's 20 of 27 games she's had at least 3 assists. So trying to get others involved, and again, having to develop that full game for her this year. So, those two players have really shown great promise. I mean, you had those two. You had Kyla Freelon, another sophomore who's just wonderful athlete. You get the transfer Jada Wynn in, who's a sophomore, Logan Johnson, the freshman out of Houston Christian. I mean, Krista's got a great young nucleus of players, and it's just trying to build upon those right now. But I mean, this program's in good hands, and you just wish that you had a couple of more wins. You wish you had the BYU win, the Cincinnati, the BYU loss, the Cincinnati loss, a couple of those type games, the UCF loss. If you have just those 3 games, I mean, you're sitting here instead of 16-11, 5-19-8, 8-6, and I mean, you're definitely in the mix for the NCAA tournament. I mean, the line has been thin for this team, no question. So I mean, this is a team that's on the verge now. Whether they can get enough wins here down the stretch, we'll see. But I do think this program's in really, really good hands with Coach Gerlich and this young nucleus.
You mentioned the UCF loss, and I watched that on television. The other player in that game who kind of stepped up late is a young lady that I saw play at high school. In fact, called a couple of her state championship games, and that's Riley McKinney when she was playing at Argyle. And she was a starter initially when it came in from SMU, and she'd been coming off the bench. I noticed she's been back in the lineup. This is another player who I think her total game has developed a little bit, even though she was known primarily as a shooter going in.
Oh, no question. I mean, last year she had to become more of a defender because teams would try. I mean, let's just be blunt. Teams are trying to pick on her on the defensive end. So she's had to get better, and she's gotten better. She's definitely a stronger player, and she was shut out against Baylor the other night, but in the 3 previous games to that, she was averaging 9 a game and playing well. I mean, you went smaller when I can't remember if it was Arike or Merritt, which one went out, and you get Riley into the starting lineup some recently, and she has produced for you. She's become a better defender. I mean, just a super heady player. I mean, she watches tons and tons of film. She does not want to be outworked as far as not being prepared. I mean, she prepares like no other.
He is Mark Figner, play-by-play voice of the Texas Tech Lady Raiders. Always good to see Fink, and look forward to seeing you over at Moody Center tonight, Mark. I appreciate the time. Thanks for the few minutes, and look forward to seeing you over at Moody.
Hey, you got it, Craig. Anytime. Thanks, bub.
You bet. That is Mark Figner, one of the great guys in the industry as well. Like I said, when people ask me, hey, are you going to miss much about the Big 12? I'm going to miss people more than anything else. Oh, yeah, there's some good restaurants and things like that. I always point those out. But I'm going to miss people, seeing people on a regular basis. And Mark Figner is one of those guys. Fink is a great dude, been around a long time now. And did an internship down in Austin here for Bill Schoening when he was finishing up college. All right. When we come back, we have Inconceivable when we continue on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Longhorns basketball plays here.
Up top on the right side, Cunningham rifles a pass to the baseline to Tyrese Hunter. Hunter back to Cunningham. Clean look at the 3. Fires it and drains it. Longhorns. Hunter has it. Lobbing it in for Mitchell, and Dillon slams it down. Longhorns have it in transition. Driving to the right side, pass into Mitchell. A slam dunk. A no-look feed from Max Haismith.
Longhorns basketball plays here. Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
All right, guys, come on, listen up. It's a new year, and it's the perfect time to get on top of your dental health. The pros at 12 Oaks Dental are dedicated to your wellness and keeping you and your smile healthy for a lifetime, okay? So get friendly, expert care from people who care. Schedule a new patient appointment and get a free bacteria test and consultation. Visit 12oaksdental.com. That's the number 12oaksdental.com. All right, now go get that win and smile. 12 Oaks Dental, Austin's complete health dentist.
Ready for discovery? South by Southwest is the premier destination for creative professionals from around the globe. Expect the unexpected and experience bold storytelling, thrilling live performances, cutting-edge innovations, and so much more at the 2024 South by Southwest Conference and Festival this March 8th through 16th in Austin, Texas. The most unexpected discoveries happen when diverse topics and people come together at South by Southwest. Start planning your adventure and register now at sxsw.com.
It's time to warm up that scoreboard and get ready to bring home the win with Specs. Specs has you covered with lower prices on all your favorite fan fuel. From craft beer, rare spirits, and world-class wine to chips, dips, and gourmet finer foods. And with same-day delivery when you order online or through the app, Specs is your MVP for the biggest score of the game. At Specs, the fun starts here.
Here's to you, cheers to savings.
Nothing slows my little girl down, except a stuffy nose. Mommy. That's why I use Sinex Children's Saline from Vicks. Sinex instantly clears mucus in everyday stuffy little noses with a gentle, ultra-fine mist designed for kids. Just Sinex? Breathe. Her stuffy nose is gone for now. And so is she.
Sinex Children's Saline. Sinex, breathe. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. We are the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. No sharks or competitive leagues. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 players' stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. Last week, I won over $200 picking basketball, and this week, I feel even better about my picks. This week on Prize Picks, I'm taking the Joker for more than 10 rebounds and Luka Doncic for more than 32 points. Both guys have been on a tear recently. I'll tell you, it's like stealing money. Download the app today and use the code Parker for your first deposit match of up to $100. That's code Parker on Prize Picks for a deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
If you keep your money in a bank account, listen up. The banking system is once again under extreme stress, and after last year's banking crisis, the dangers are clearer than ever. Car loans are defaulting, credit card debt is ballooning, commercial real estate is on the brink of collapse. These aren't just red flags. They are the sounds of a financial ticking time bomb. But there is a safe and easy way to protect your financial future. Gold. Gold is outside the government's reach and safe from economic policies that jeopardize your wealth. Gold allows you to lock in today's value in the face of tomorrow's uncertainty. Don't wait for the next headline, crash, or bank run to act. Contact Noble Gold Investments today. As a bonus, they'll give you a free quarter-ounce gold standard coin as a thank you for opening a qualified account. Just use the promo code GOLD. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. noblegoldinvestments.com.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Hello, this is Chip with Diamond J Properties. You're invited to our coastal waterfront grand opening on March 2nd, where you can get 2 acres with bay access for only $49.9. That's right, 2 acres bay access for only $49.9. This coastal waterfront community has over 4 miles of water frontage with access to the ICW, Gulf, Matagorda Bay, and much more. Property features paved roads, underground utilities, boat launch, pier, pool, cabana, and more. This property is shown by appointment only. Call now, 737-257-5327. That's 737-257-5327. 737-257-5327. That's 737-257-5327.
When you were hunting, did you miss that shot? Do you think it was the rifle or the scope? Did you jerk the trigger? Better go see the gunsmith at McBride's Guns. Let them check out the weapon or scope. Then you'll know for sure whether it was you or the weapon. They will fix you up with whatever you need as well. McBride's Guns, 30th and North Lamar, where the hunt begins since 1960. Or McBride'sGuns.com.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Everybody has a favorite pair of shoes or boots that could use a little TLC. This is Carol Kelly with Austin Shoe Hospital. Austin families have been using Austin Shoe Hospital for all their shoe, boot, purse, and luggage repairs for over 30 years. Austin Shoe Hospital's expert team of shoe and boot cobblers are the best in Texas. So round up all your favorite shoes, boots, and bags and have our master cobblers bring them back to life. Come into Austin Shoe Hospital or go to AustinShoeHospital.com for info. Let Austin Shoe Hospital heal your souls.
It may be getting chilly outside, but it's always 72 degrees inside Interspace Caverns. It's a great place to take the kids while they're on school break or friends and family while they're visiting. Why not check out this super exciting saber-tooth zip ride or pan for gemstones? Interspace Caverns is located right off I-35 in Georgetown at exit 259. And they also feature newly remodeled gift shop and bathrooms. Check them out online, InnerSpaceCavern.com for more details. That's InnerSpaceCavern.com.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of hundreds of thousands of titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
Go behind the crime scenes of one of England's most notorious modern murders. In the companion podcast to HBO Max's true crime drama, The Murders at White House Farm, you'll hear from those involved in the making of the series and the real-life events on which the drama is based.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one app.
The Hard Knocks Life Show, weekdays 7 to 9 a.m. Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Inconceivable! 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 You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Quite often, when we bring you Inconceivable, we start off with a fast food update because to many people, just the mere consumption of fast food seems rather inconceivable. Cameron has tried to go that way, but I know he's not totally devoted to that. But today is no exception that we'll go down a couple items. But first things first. Several months back, when we started doing this show, and both Cameron and myself are avowed Starbucks customers, devotees. I have over 4,000 stars in my account
Holy
right now.
cow! I think I have like 18.
Do you really? Yeah.
4,000. So you could. Do you get like a free Starbucks franchise for that many stars?
I'm at 4,093 right now.
I'm at 117.
Okay.
Do you constantly just like reload your balance, or do you just pay with a credit card?
I reload the balance.
That's how you get a lot of stars.
But you also have to use several hundred or a couple hundred by the end of every month, or you lose them. So you think about that. I mean, I'm using them pretty regularly. I'm still at 4,000 of that sort of thing. But several months ago, we were talking about in an Inconceivable segment about Starbucks with the pistachio kind of green thing, and also this oleato, the olive oil thing. And I said I was kind of chicken to try it, but Cam said he might try it. So I picked him up one today, and I figured I would pay for this because if you didn't like it, you shouldn't have to pay for it. So what's your review of the you got to shake an espresso one today.
It's interesting. The aftertaste, like you can definitely taste
the oil.
Really? I don't dislike it. I don't know if I would get it every time.
Yeah.
But you can. It's very oily.
Okay.
It's a unique,
very unctuous.
It's a unique taste.
Okay. All right. That may.
But I don't mind it. It's something different.
Okay, that may be enough to intrigue me to try something else. Could try a new flavor of Lay's potato chips. You like Lay's potato chips?
Of course.
What would you think about the flavor sweet and spicy honey?
I think I would try it.
Okay. All right. I'm not a big sweet and spicy kind of guy. Like, for example, I dearly love Whataburger. But the one burger I don't eat is that sweet and spicy thing. I don't like the taste combination of the two.
The sweet and spicy.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So you don't like sweet and sour chicken?
It's okay, but it's not spicy. See, that's just sweet and sour. It's the sweet And the hot thing, I guess, is what I don't like. I guess. Speaking of that, with regard to chicken, this sounds like it's got you written all over it. You're a fan of KFC, right?
Yeah.
Okay. KFC.
The Colonel?
The Colonel, starting this weekend, is launching its famous fried chicken and pizza mashup. It's called the Chizza. Chizza, like a pizza, but chicken. Chizza. At restaurants nationwide for a limited time. They say it's 2 100% white meat chicken fillets prepared in extra crispy style, then topped with marinara sauce, mozzarella cheese, and pepperoni. This is like it's got you written all over it. You would eat that. I know you would eat that.
I would try it, but like, you know what also is really good?
What's that?
Just pizza itself.
Yeah,
or fried
chicken,
chicken
right?
itself. That's also really good just by itself.
So you don't necessarily need to have the two at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go to KFC later tonight and try it.
It starts this weekend.
Okay.
By the way, starts this weekend. Maybe I'll bring in some for lunch.
Yeah, maybe when I see my mom in Orlando, I'll be like,
There
hey,
you
you
go.
know what? Let's skip the fancy dinner. Let's get a pizza, Mom. She'll
Okay.
love that.
Okay. Here's an unpleasant development. A U.S. Russian dual citizen, a ballet dancer, has been arrested in Russia on charges of treason because she donated $51 to a Ukrainian charity. Russia's Federal Security Service, the FSB, said the detainee, 33-year-old woman who lives in Los Angeles, was arrested in the Russian city of Yekaterinburg for, quote, providing financial assistance to a foreign state in activities directed against Russia's security. She went to visit her parents, showed a woman with a hat pulled over her eyes being escorted by a security official. It is Ksenia Karolina, who became a U.S. citizen in 2021. She entered Russia on January 2nd. The U.S. learned of her arrest last week. She's accused of donating $51.80 to a Ukrainian charity in the United States, according to a statement from her employer, a spa in Beverly Hills. She's a dual citizen. The State Department said it was aware of her detention. The U.S. not been granted consular access to her yet. So it says Russia does not recognize dual citizenship, considers them to be Russian citizens first and foremost. And so oftentimes we have a difficult time getting consular assistance, but we will pursue it in all matters where a U.S. citizen is being detained. But I mentioned about the ballet dancer because there's a picture of her. There it is, as a dancer, and that was on Brooklyn Bridge. So anyway, that's what the deal is, and so she's been detained. That's very unfortunate. There, hopefully, the United States can do something on behalf of this person. She donated a grand total of $51 while in LA to a Ukrainian charity. $51. Okay. It has been well established on this program that the producer, Cameron Parker, is not just a fan, but a huge fan. You tell me if I've exaggerated this. You, Cameron Parker, are a huge fan of Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I'm not like the person that has like the Buc-ee sticker in the back of the car.
You don't have the t-shirts?
Or wear the
Like my daughter
t-shirts
did.
or sweaters. But if I'm going somewhere and I know there's going to be a Buc-ee's on the way,
Yeah.
I will plan my trip around it.
That's what I mean by a big fan. You will include that as a stop.
Yeah. Best bathrooms. The coffee's cheap. Soda's cheap. Beaver nuggets. I like those chips they have.
Yeah.
Sandwiches, delis. You know.
Yeah.
Got to.
The reason why I tell you this is
the one in Hillsborough almost done?
Not yet. They're still doing it. But there's one closer being that has been a preliminary okay to build one in.
Let me think here. Let's see.
See if you can guess this.
I'm trying to think of where's the space for it. I'm going to guess somewhere maybe close to Dripping Springs.
Not that far from San Marcos.
Okay.
Okay. They like to stay on the interstate corridors,
yeah, that
as
makes
you
sense.
know. The San Marcos City Council last night approved the first reading of a proposal for incentives for Buc-ee's to open a 74,000 square foot family travel center on the southbound frontage of I-35 near Yarrington Road.
Okay.
So that's like exit 210.
Yeah.
Right before you get to San Marcos. That'd be the closest Buc-ee's to Austin.
The next one is down in New Braunfels, which is about, 30 minutes
Mile marker 189. I would happen to know that because I've stopped there
so about
before. 191.
20.
Yeah. That's also right near the Taco Palenque. Like that there. They got a Taco Palenque in Cedar Park now. Didn't even know that. They've got one in Round Rock, obviously, but I didn't know they had one in Cedar Park. But
Where's the
anyway,
one in Round Rock at?
It's right below like the flyover on the toll 45 to I-35. It's over there where those near where the Twin Peaks is and all those other. That's where it is there. It's great.
Chick-fil-A, McDonald's.
Yeah, all that stuff over there. So this Buc-ee's in San Marcos would have 120 gas pumps, have capacity for between 100 and 175 electric vehicle charging spots as well. They would invest at least $50 million in the site, create 175 full-time jobs with an average wage of $43,855 and benefits. And they think maybe between 200 and 225 employees. So maybe a Buc-ee's coming to the greater Austin area.
Hey, they put one in Round Rock. I mean, that might not be a bad little second job there.
Yeah.
16. He said 16 to 18 bucks an hour.
Yeah. Just starting out, right?
Just starting.
There you go. All right, we'll be back to wrap up the hour on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app.
Your Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone show hosts are looking good. Want to know how we know? It's time. Not ready! Because the Hard Knocks Life and the Craig Way Show have live video streams, faces for radio, and the digital screen. It's main event time. It's going down. Find us on Facebook at AM 1300 The Zone.
Hey, I got another word or two for you about my good friend John Hardy and his great staff at Divided Sky Roofing and Solar. You know, they've been very, very busy during this cold and getting colder winter weather, but we get ready for the summer season coming up. And if you start now, you can make your house more efficient for the upcoming summer heat. Why not consider solar with Divided Sky Roofing and Solar? You can upgrade your home to solar and make it more efficient, or you can add batteries to make your current system more efficient. Not only that, it's very economical right now. Payments include 0% down with low monthly payment options available. And, of course, a reminder that energy-efficient upgrades are also tax deductible. And doesn't that come in handy as well? So replace the energy shingle to make your home more efficient. Divided Sky Roofing and Solar, 512-995-ROOF, or check them out on the web at dividedskyaustin.com.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else, and we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. From your cell, dial pound 250 and say keyword great results. That's pound 250 and say great results.
Sneezing, coughing, stuffy nose, runny nose, postnasal drip, interrupted sleeping. I was groggy at the end of the day.
Allergies and sinus congestion were making Jana miserable. Then, a friend recommended Navage. Navage provides immediate drug-free congestion relief, flushing your nasal passages with refreshing saline and sucking out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Navage helps you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel your best right away.
Navage gave me instant relief. I didn't have to wait 30 minutes. I didn't have to wait an hour, 90 minutes. I didn't have to wait a minute. I ran the rinse and I felt better.
Stop suffering from congestion and start breathing and feeling your best again with Navage. Navage.
I've had people ask me how I find relief, and I tell them Navage immediately. This thing is amazing.
Navage is available at Navage.com or at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
The new Abacus VIP plan saves you up to $500 on plumbing, AC, and electrical repairs. It covers all your maintenance, plus savings on generators and water treatment. Join for just $24.95 a month at abacusplumbing.com.
Hey, have you heard the latest news from my friends at Sue Patrick? Their #1 selling men's polo shirt from the 40 Acres is back. From game day to the golf course, we're talking about the perfect polo. It's available in sizes small through XXX with UPF 50+ sun protection and 4-way stretch quick drying fabric. It's available 2 ways. White with all over burnt orange Longhorns for away games. I've already worn that one. And burnt orange with all over white Longhorns when you're cheering them on at a home game. An embroidered Longhorn on the left chest completes the most perfect polo. It's a great shirt. I love broadcasting in it, and you'll enjoy wearing it as well. Be sure to check it out. Of course, you can go right down to the store at 5222 Burnett Road. Pull right up to the store. Don't even have to worry about a parking garage, or you can even order it online as well at SuePatrick.com. Check it out. The #1 selling Longhorn men's polo from the 40 Acres is back. Sue Patrick, 5222 Burnett Road, and online at SuePatrick.com.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit AppleLeasing.com. That's AppleLeasing.com.
Portions of the following program will be recorded.
AM 1300 The Zone is KBET Austin. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports talk, podcasts, and music. Free never sounded so good. You're listening to Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Busy first hour of the program. We heard from Vic Schaefer, Texas Women's Head. We'll hear more from Vic coming up second hour. We also visit with Mark Finkner, play-by-play voice for Texas Tech Lady Raider basketball. Got some other things to get to. There's an updated bracketological prognostication to share with you. Also, we'll hear from David Pierce, Longhorns head coach. Don't forget, in the 4 o'clock hour, we'll talk some Major League Baseball with Gene Watson from the Chicago White Sox organization. And don't forget, tonight, Texas women's basketball. It's busy week, busy time. That's the way we like it. Over that weekend with men's basketball, and then with baseball over the weekend. Big Monday basketball for Longhorn men. Baseball last night. Women's basketball tonight. Longhorn Weekly with Rodney Terry tomorrow night. And then it starts all over again. Hour number 2 coming up on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
He's a Texas legend, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, the voice of the Texas Longhorns, and your host of the Craig Way Show. Here he is now, Craig Way.
Hour number 2 here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Craig Way alongside the producer, Cameron D. Parker. Glad to have you with us. Coming up in just a minute or two here, we're going to hear from David Pierce, Longhorn head baseball coach, coming off the Texas win last night. And then more from Vic Schaefer, Texas women's head coach, coming up in the next segment. Getting ready. Longhorn women have the big game tonight against Texas Tech. Saturday, they go to Orlando, Florida, and play for the first and probably only time ever. They'll play UCF. Cam Parker draws that play-by-play assignment, by the way. Cameron will be down there. And you're wrapping around that, a visit with your mom.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. She lives in the Sunshine State. She like living in Florida?
She does. She lives in Jacksonville. So she's not like in the hillbilly redneck part of Florida. Because a lot of people, they think Florida and they have some sort of negative connotation.
You mean
which
like Florida man stuff?
Yeah, I think Inconceivable has not helped our listeners' viewpoint of Florida. But the part where she lives south of Jacksonville, she's right. I could walk to TBC Sawgrass where they play, of course, the Players Championship. Great area. You have the beach there, a lot of golf courses. I actually do enjoy that part of Florida. So excited to be in Florida to watch Texas Women's as they have a really big game tonight and tomorrow. But more importantly, Oklahoma away.
Looming.
They're just a one game back in Big 12 standings after Oklahoma fell at Morgantown. So a chance for Texas to maybe get at least a conference championship of the regular season.
The Oklahoma women did bounce back from that Saturday loss in Morgantown. They beat Cincinnati last night. It was a high-scoring game, very similar to the one that they won here in Austin when they beat Texas 91-87. They won in Cincinnati last night 95-87. And so they're still one game up on Texas. And the Longhorns play tonight. And then Texas will play on Saturday in Orlando against UCF. And Oklahoma has Bedlam this week, but they get Oklahoma State at home. And then it's 1 week from tonight when Texas plays in Norman against Oklahoma. The rematch. Again, the Sooners won the first game down here. And so Texas has to win out in all probability to share, at the very least, the Big 12 title. If they do win out, they will, at the very least, share the title and probably earn the number 1 seed. There's a couple little tie-breaking permutations. It could go into there that would involve West Virginia and or Kansas State. But, and by the way, those two play tonight. Big game, West Virginia and K-State on the women's side. Cam Parker will have the update on that as he studio anchors for us tonight. So he'll be keeping a watch on that. So that's big. But Texas women tonight against Texas Tech, 6:45 airtime, 7 o'clock tip off on 103.1 FM, Austin's 80 station. Aaron McMahon will join me for the call of that. Last night on the Zone, Longhorn baseball upped its record to 3-1. Texas defeated Houston Christian 20-3. Longhorn scored in all but 3 at bats. Had crooked numbers in every at bat too. Scored, and got home runs. They had a streak of 5 consecutive innings where the leadoff batter got an extra base hit. 4 times it was a double. 1 time it was a home run. And the home run was Rylan Galvan, who hit one. Was that the other ball that your friend got out of the Yeti yard?
No, I think it was who hit the homer for Houston Christian.
Oh, okay. All right. And that one went into the Yeti yard.
That one actually went behind it, but I don't know how. It's like if you're a little girl or you're a little boy and you're cute, you somehow get everything.
Yeah,
That's
they'll
how
give it
works.
to you.
Ice cream, baseballs, everything last.
And by the way, if you're a fan and you've waited all your life to get a foul ball or a home run ball and you get one and you don't give it to a youngster nearby, you are reviled by everybody nearby. You're just a bad guy, a bad person. Maybe your whole life you've been waiting to get one, but if you don't give it to that kid, then you're a bad dude in their eyes anyway.
That was the conversation I had with my buddy last night. I said, like, if I caught a foul ball and there's a little kid next to me, I feel like I have to give the ball back to him. And my buddy, who's a big Dodger fan, said, I'm at a Dodgers game? No way. I'm keeping that foul ball because it might be the only time I get one. And I was like, I don't know.
It's a little different in the major league games. A little different. But I will tell you this. Before Game 5 of the 2019 World Series, 2018 World Series, Linda and I are at Dodger Stadium. We're about to see the Red Sox put the Dodgers away with future Dodger Mookie Betts having a big part of it. But in the pregame warm-ups down the first base line, and we were sitting about halfway down the line between first base and right field, about 10 rows up, good seats. And a guy threw a baseball into the stands, one of the Red Sox players, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it went right to me. But there was a kid right there, and everybody's looking at me. I gave it to the kid.
It's the right call.
Yeah, but I think it's different in a game because I think the guy might have been trying to get it to the kid. I wasn't sure, and I wasn't going to risk that anyway, so I gave it to the kid. But if you get a foul ball in a major league game, unless you got little kids all around you, you probably, you keep it. But maybe if you got little kids all around you, maybe you got to do it. When my oldest son, Andy, was 5 years old, I took him to a Rangers-Indians game at the old Rangers ballpark in Arlington. And a guy hits a foul ball on the third base side. And I was in position to grab it, and I lost it in the lights coming up. And I heard it whiz right past me. I mean, it could have just cold cocked me.
Yeah.
But a guy caught it behind me, one row behind me. We turn around and look, and Andy's just looking at him wide-eyed and the guy gives it to Andy.
Oh, how old was Andy?
5.
Okay.
At the time. Yeah.
Now, if it's a home run or like a big home run, like a playoff or maybe like a 3,000 hit,
fight over that.
Yeah, you're keeping that thing because there's a good chance, either that player will want it back and you can get maybe, some free merch, some free tickets, or you can end up selling it. Like who hit the home run? Was it last year or the year before where they were trying to get in contact with a guy and he wasn't sure if he wanted to sell it or if he wanted, I don't know if it was Miguel Cabrera. It was some big piece of memorabilia. But in that case, I think you keep it.
Record-setting home run, that type of thing. All right. Longhorns had plenty of long ball, extra base hits. Luke Harrison started with an inning and 2/3, looked a little shaky and got out of there. And then the rest of the bullpen did his job. Andre Duplantier, Dre, as they like to call him, worked 2 innings of relief in that. And again, David Pierce dumped the bench. I mean, he emptied the dugout. Everybody got in the ball game practically. And he visited with our Ty Harrington on the field after the game.
Coach, first of all, as always, congratulations on a win. Appreciate it, Ty. That was a good one. All right, let's start with the pitching. So Luke Harrison goes out there, and before the game, you made a comment to Craig Way that you were going to get a lot of guys in there. It's a Tuesday. It's early in the year. Take us through that because you got some freshmen out there tonight. They got a chance to get out there and pitch some.
Yeah, I wanted to get 3 out of Luke. He just was a little ramped up, and I think he just got a little bit too excited, and he wants it bad, and he wasn't his best. But it was good to get Toomas back out there and get Hudson Hamilton's debut. I thought was pretty darn good tonight. And then Cade O'Hara, who's a two-way guy now. I mean, Cade jumps in there. He throws a lot of strikes. He can mix it, and he's up to 90. So it was good to see those young guys, and it's good to get Dre 2 innings to get him going.
Now, at one point, it seemed like every time I looked or set my pen down, you guys were hitting a double tonight. And so I'm at the amount of extra base hits tonight in your offense. I mean, obviously, it goes without saying you scored this many runs, but talk to us a little bit about your offense tonight.
I'll just tell you, I don't know how many teams in the country work as hard as that group. I mean, they're here early. They put their work in. Taking ground balls, but in the cage, just constantly trying to get better and, staying through the middle of the field. And that's what we did a really good job of. You see a Casey Borbo who hits a foul ball, 2 strikes down the right field line, gets a hanger, and then just drives the baseball. So it was also good to see a lot of new guys in there, a lot of young guys in there that eventually are going to be pretty good players for us.
On that note, and you think about this for a second, if you're in that other dugout, and we've both been on both sides of it at different times, but you start to bring in extra players to most people, and you start looking at that lineup for the guys that are still going in there, Coach. That's competition. Those are great players coming in there late in that game.
You're right, and that's what we're looking at, and that's one of the reasons why I like to play the game to its completion, in a midweek game, just because I want to see those players play in competition, and they work hard. They want to play, and they did a great job. I thought the play CeCe made at first base was outstanding, and then some good quality at bats from all of them. We didn't falter defensively. I don't want to give up anything defensively by putting guys in the game, so they got to do that first.
Last but not least, I was standing up here watching the game tonight. I was thinking to myself, those first 3 hitters, those first 3 left-handed hitters, and I was trying to figure out how in the world would I try to get after those guys. Because those 3 left-handed hitters, top of that order, that's hard to find 3 guys like that just about anywhere in the country.
Yeah, that 1-2 punch has been there, and then Porter's been anywhere from the 3 through the 6, and
what I like about him is sometimes you worry about 3 lefties in a row, but they all hit left-handers pretty well. And I like speed in that 3-hole, and Porter fits right into there. And then you get Jalen, Jack behind him, and then start putting some speed at the bottom. So, yeah, they're tough. JT and Peyton just constantly have quality at bats, just great at bats, very balanced, but always in a good spot. And Porter can carry the team. I mean, he can go for a week and 2 weeks and just carry the team. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, those 3 guys are tough to get out. Have a 2-day practice ahead of you. Good luck on Friday. And again, congratulations on tonight. All right, I appreciate it.
The JT, to whom David Pierce obviously is referring, is Jared Thomas, Longhorns combo first baseman outfielder. He played first base all of last year as a freshman. Now he's also playing center field, and he played center field, started off in center field last night. Platooning there with Will Gasparino, the freshman, who has been starting off in right field and then moving to center. Jack O'Dowd, the regular second baseman, shifts over to first when Thomas goes into center field, and that also gets D. Kennedy and more speed on the field. Kennedy with a triple last night in the game. Jalen Flores also stroked the ball really, really well. Peyton Powell, you heard Coach Pierce talking about. Peyton is really having an outstanding season, and really good to see him going strong. And Porter Brown, so solid, so dependable, and he's got his game going. And the catching position is swinging the bat, which I don't know that many people thought. Kimball Schuessler's has played in all 4 games and has a hit in all 4 games. Rylan Galvan had a big game last night, including a home run. So all of that helps. And now it's just a matter of getting the pitching the way they want it exactly as well. So next up, Cal Poly, the Mustangs from San Luis Obispo come in this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday games, and then they'll finish the 8-game season opening homestand against St. John's before they head for Minute Maid Park in Houston. All right, up next, we'll talk college basketball, men's side, women's side. We'll hear more from Vic Schaefer as well. Update those tournament projections, all that and more when we continue on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app.
It's the Harge Knocks Life Show with Mike Harge and Salty.
When Bill Belichick feels like you're a certain age, he's like Leonardo DiCaprio. Where if you get to a certain age, he's got to break up with you. You know, if you're over 25, Leo can't be with you anymore. So you got to make sure that you're staying at the right age. And that's where Bill Belichick was.
Weekdays 7 to 9 a.m. on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Shop simple. It doesn't get any easier. You're looking for a new Ford. You don't have time to spend hours at the dealership. So Riata Ford in Manor has made it simple. Pick yours at RiataFord.com. We can bring it to you for a home test drive. Once you determine it's perfect, you can arrange financing, value your trade, and sign all your paperwork digitally. Then simply tell us where and when you want to take delivery. Leif Johnson's Riata Ford in Manor has made buying a new Ford simple.
Ready for discovery? South by Southwest is the premier destination for creative professionals from around the globe. Expect the unexpected and experience bold storytelling, thrilling live performances, cutting-edge innovations, and so much more at the 2024 South by Southwest Conference and Festival this March 8th through 16th in Austin, Texas. The most unexpected discoveries happen when diverse topics and people come together at South by Southwest. Start planning your adventure and register now at sxsw.com.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes choice of JBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
When's the last time you sat down to a tray full of mouth-watering world-class barbecue? We're talking brisket, ribs, sausage, chicken, and all the fixin'. Well, I think it's time you get yourself down to Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue in the heart of downtown Austin. It's more than just incredible food. They have 2 full bars, open every day until 10. TVs everywhere, playing your favorite sports. So grab your crew and head to Cooper's for great food and good times. CoopersBBQAustin.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
If you keep your money in a bank account, listen up. The banking system is once again under extreme stress, and after last year's banking crisis, the dangers are clearer than ever. Car loans are defaulting, credit card debt is ballooning, commercial real estate is on the brink of collapse. These aren't just red flags. They are the sounds of a financial ticking time bomb. But there is a safe and easy way to protect your financial future. Gold. Gold is outside the government's reach and safe from economic policies that jeopardize your wealth. Gold allows you to lock in today's value in the face of tomorrow's uncertainty. Don't wait for the next headline, crash, or bank run to act. Contact Noble Gold Investments today. As a bonus, they'll give you a free quarter-ounce gold standard coin as a thank you for opening a qualified account. Just use the promo code GOLD. Visit NobleGoldInvestments.com. NobleGoldInvestments.com.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else, and we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd love to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. Get started today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Hey, it's Hardball Harsh here, and you need to make sure that you get out to the Carbach Round Rock Classic, proudly known as the hashtag best outside of Omaha, Kentucky, Kansas. We also have Texas State and Washington State. Get your tickets now going to roundrockclassic.net. That's from February 23rd to the 25th. You've got single day passes and you got weekend passes. And as I've said, it is the best outside of Omaha. It's all happening at the Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas. Come be a part of all of the action.
Find your iHeartRadio everywhere. There are hundreds of ways to experience iHeartRadio at home and on the go, beyond the iPhone and Android app and at iHeartRadio.com. Here's another way to connect to iHeartRadio. Apple CarPlay. Our iOS app comes alive in your car's dashboard with a seamless way to play your favorite music, radio stations, and podcasts. Developed with driver safety in mind, the Apple CarPlay interface was built for simple navigation and to limit driver distraction while making sure you can still access all your favorite content from iHeartRadio. No need to download another app. Just plug or pair your iPhone with your dash, and if CarPlay is available in your vehicle, iHeartRadio will sync automatically. iHeartRadio, everywhere you want to listen, including in your car through Apple CarPlay. Check it out for free now. iHeartRadio, anywhere you want to listen, iHeartRadio is there.
Texas basketball plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Welcome back to the Craig Way Show and the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Follow Craig on social media at Horn Voice.
Here we are on Wednesday after. What are you hitting me back with here?
Number 2 on this day, Mama's Pearl by Jackson
5.
5, who also had a number 1 hit, number 2 or whatever, number 6 on this day. 70, 71, same thing. So Jackson 5, very popular. Who knew?
They were. This is not one of my favorite ones, but it was all right.
I wasn't actually familiar with it when I pulled it up, Mama's Pearl.
But there's a lot of other songs were really big hits. College basketball continue. I don't know. You were at the baseball game last night, so I don't know. Did you get to see any? Did you see the end of the Texas Tech TCU game?
I did not.
Game?
I did not. I was following on UConn as they got
blasted by Creighton. Yeah. And Tech and TCU. I mean, TCU had a double-digit lead in the second half, but could not put Tech away. Tech came back to win 82-81. To move into 4th place in the conference standings. Still a big logjam right now, and that's why all of these games are so important to Texas. Of course, they have to go to Lawrence to take on Kansas this Saturday, followed by a swing over to Lubbock to have the rematch with Texas Tech on Tuesday night there at United Supermarkets Arena. Now, yesterday we went through the latest bracket projections from Joe Lenardi and Jerry Palm. Those are really kind of the 2 at the top of the list, but I threw in one of the other ones that I kind of look at, and that was from Sports Illustrated. And today there's another one to share with you. Have you seen the one on Stadium's website?
I have not.
They have one, and there's almost mirrored the one for Sports Illustrated. It's very similar in that Texas, in case you're wondering, according to this projection, is in the 8-9 game. Now, they've got it flipped in terms of the opponent with the seed, because in the SI projection, Texas is the 8 and Michigan State is the 9.
Mm-hmm.
In this projection, Michigan State is the 8 and Texas is the 9, and it would project. And that would be in Brooklyn, and the winner would have to play UConn in the second round. Now, UConn did not look like UConn last night.
Yeah.
But they're still going to get a 1 seed unless they completely fall on their face. What last night did was to open the door even a little more for Houston. If Houston runs the table the rest of the way, they could wind up being the overall number 1 seed. And if they just handle their business, they're going to be the number 1 seed in the South and probably play in Memphis and then seed back to Dallas, where they would play at American Airlines Center in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. Now, one thing that is interesting is they've got it to where the 8-9 game would be Texas Tech and Northwestern. You said, oh, wait a minute, I thought they could meet in the second round. It would depend if there are 10 or more teams that got in from the Big 12 Conference. That's the only way that you could have a second round matchup between 2 teams from the same conference. They would have to have 10 or more, and I don't know that 10 teams are getting in from the Big 12. Cincinnati's close, but I don't know that they're getting in.
Lunardi, actually, he updated his on Twitter, which goes back to what we were talking about. Was it yesterday? Why is he updating on Twitter?
Well, we just updated on the website, because on the website he still has the ones for Monday morning, which has Texas as the 8.
Yeah.
Or Tuesday morning. Texas is the 8 and Virginia as the 9, and Indianapolis matching up with, in all probability, Purdue as the 1 seed, who would play the winner of a matchup of a pair of 16s, Eastern Kentucky and Merrimack.
Only change I see is that he dropped UConn behind Purdue, and Purdue right now the number 1 overall seed. Baylor a 3 seed after their loss to BYU, Tennessee a 2 seed, Creighton to a 4 seed, and his last 4 in right now, Seton Hall, Ole Miss, Gonzaga, and Butler, with A&M as one of the last 4 buys.
Yeah.
Cincinnati in his first 4 out.
And the Aggies did not help themselves by losing to Arkansas last night. So that's the kind of loss that Texas cannot afford to have. And there's only one team left out of the remaining games that fits that category, and that's Oklahoma State.
Mhm.
And they come to Austin. Texas above, you'd say, man, you got all these big games, you really need a win. That's true. But I can tell you, with the way that the tournament selection committee thinks, the bad loss hurts you more than the big win helps you. Because most of the teams that they will select and see for the field of 68 all have at least one really good-sized win on the resume. Whether it's a win on the road over a ranked opponent, Texas has 2 of those, at OU and at TCU. So they have 2 of those, but it's avoiding the bad loss. And right now the Longhorns have 1 for sure, maybe 2. The 1 for sure is West Virginia, even though it's on the road. The other one you can kind of make a case for is UCF, although UCF has wins over Kansas and Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on your definition and level of how bad a loss is. But the game was at home, and Texas did lead by 12 at halftime, so that by itself makes it not a good defeat by any stretch. Now, you mentioned Joe Lunardi tweeting out his updated bracket. Jerry Palm updated his bracket this morning, and it's changed a little bit. Texas, in Jerry Palm's vision, is no longer a 10 seed. They've worked their way up to a 9. And how about this would be a matchup against an 8 seed, St. Mary's.
Ooh.
In Indianapolis, and again, the winner would be, almost be certain to draw Purdue in the second round. And that's why I said it's almost better to be a 10 seed, really, than a 9. Because the 10-7 game is about as difficult to win as the 8-9, whether you're the 7 seed or the 10 or the 8 or 9. I've seen Texas as a 7 seed lose to a 10. I've seen Texas as a 10 seed beat a 7. I've seen Texas as an 11 beat a 6. I've seen Texas as a 6 lose to 11. 2002 Superdome against Temple. But I also saw him as an 11 seed beat a 6 seed Oregon in 95. I saw him as a 10 seed beat a 7 seed Wisconsin in Pittsburgh in 97. So the 7, 10, and the 8, 9 are almost 50-50 games. And the numbers over the years reflect that. So then you say, okay, well, what's next? If you're 8, 9, you're probably drawing the 1 seed. And the amount of 1 seeds to advance to the Sweet 16 has greatly outweighed the number of 2 seeds to advance to the Sweet 16. So you're really almost in better position if you're a 10 than a 9.
Mm-hmm.
You'd rather be a 7 than an 8 if you could do that.
Especially because if you're an 8-9, you win that first game. Hey, congrats! You get UConn again, Texas.
Yeah,
hey, you get
or
Houston,
Purdue,
who beat Texas. There's 3 of the 4 seeds. Just Texas either has lost to or has lost to in the last 3 years, and then plus you still have who's the other 1 seed that I'm missing? Arizona, who might be the one that I could see, having the Purdue loss in the first round like last year. But besides that, I would not want to see any of those 4.
Yeah. By the way, Jerry Palm has Arizona number 1 seed in the West opening in Salt Lake against the winner of a 16 seed play-in from Dayton. And then they would then face the winner of an 8-9 in the second round. The 9 is Boise, the 8 TCU.
Ooh.
So that's what he would have there. He has Texas Tech as a 6 seed. Certainly strengthened their hold on that with their win last night. Playing the winner of an 11 seed play-in. The play-ins he does have Cincinnati in the field as an 11 seed.
Interesting.
In the first 4, playing Gonzaga. And he has Colorado and Nebraska in the other 11 seed matchup. He has Iowa State as a 3 seed, playing in Pittsburgh against Charleston, a 14 seed, with a 6 versus an 11 seed winner Kentucky Grand Canyon matchup awaiting the winner. In Charlotte, he has now put Ole Miss in the field ahead of Dayton, and has Ole Miss as a 10 playing a 7 seed FAU with the winner to play the winner North Carolina and Colgate. So Houston to play Quinnipiac, a 16 seed, and then to face the winner of an 8-9 matchup, Florida and Nevada would be that. As we tell you about the Big 12 schools, he has BYU as a 7 That was boosted a little bit by BYU's win over Baylor last night. And they would play a 10-seeded Mississippi State and then a second-round matchup with Kansas. And you say, again, that's two teams from the same conference matching in the second round. But the tournament does allow for that if you have 10 or more teams in. And that's what he's got right now. So that's going to be interesting to see if that – I was always even just kind of a little bit, you might say, intrigued by in high school basketball where you would see district matchups in the third round of the playoffs. And you see it in football as well in the third round. By the way, UIL realignment appeals hearings happen. That district that at Highland Park and Cleveland and Lufkin, it's not going to happen. Lufkin won its appeal, and they're going to be in with Houston area schools down there in Golden Triangle region. The road trip is just about as long, but not quite as long as that. So they won that appeal. Smithville was the only Greater Austin, Central Texas area school to file an appeal, and they lost their appeal. So they'll stay in the district that they were seated to. All right, with women's basketball, Texas gets ready to take on the Texas Tech Lady Raiders. Coming up, we'll hear from Vic Schaefer, his thoughts on this matchup when we continue on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Longhorns basketball plays here.
Tyrese Hunter operates the dribble on the right side, and he'll lob it in to Katie Shepard for a slam dunk. Hunter drives in and slams it down. Gets that off the sidearm. Brock Cunningham hustles for the offensive rebound. Brock holds it down to a cutting Asmus who races in to score off the glass. Into the front court, Asmus to the right side. He wants a third three. Why not?
Longhorns basketball plays here. Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Did you know that solar energy gives you independence from utilities and helps keep your energy costs down? Why not get a free estimate with locally owned Divided Sky Roofing and Solar? You can get more information at mydividedsky.com. That's mydividedsky.com.
South by Southwest Music Festival returns to Austin March 11th through 16th with a new lineup of legendary and rising talent. Join us for South by Southwest 2024 and get ready to discover your next favorite artist. Register today at sxsw.com.
Looking for the perfect place to get a bite to eat before or after the game? Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina has you covered. With locations on 360 in Westlake or Quinlan Park Road and Steiner Ranch, both offer the perfect place to pregame or celebrate after the game. We use only the finest, freshest ingredients. Mouth-watering fajitas, fresh seafood, char-grilled oysters, and queso you'll want to eat by the gallon. Happy hour, dinner with family and friends, private events, Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina is the place. Visit vaqueroscafe.com. Tex-Mex done right.
A rock from the darker side. Disturbed live. Take back your life tour. February 29th. Moody Center. New album Divisive. Available now. With special guest Falling in Reverse. And Plush. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Disturbed.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Basketball Hall of Famer Dwayne Wade explores the lives and motivations of sports, music, and entertainment icons in his podcast, The Why with Dwayne Wade. In each episode, he delves into the inspiration behind their greatness, reflects on his own career, and goes behind the curtain to get the stories you've never heard.
How did you feel about me in 2006?
Well, there wasn't a lot of love there, I'd say.
We've never had a conversation to this point.
Listen to The Why with Dwayne Wade on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The needs of modern businesses are always changing, but corporate cards haven't evolved in decades. Until now. Meet Ramp, the all-in-one finance platform that combines corporate cards with spend management software. Ramp is the only card designed to actually help your business spend less, not more. With Ramp, you can set custom controls to stop out-of-policy spend before it even happens. And Ramp software even does expense reports for you. No more manual entries, no more chasing receipts. And with best-in-class accounting integrations, you'll close your books in days, not weeks. Ramp gives you better insights and a real-time view of all company spend, so you can stay focused on the big picture and build a healthier business. Join over 15,000 businesses who have switched to Ramp and start saving an average of 5%. Modern finance runs on Ramp. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. That's ramp.com/sports.
Are you looking for chef-inspired comfort food in Austin? Then look no further than the League Kitchen and Tavern. Hey y'all, it's Cameron Parker, and whether you're eating lunch or dinner, dining in or picking up, you need to check out the League. Try out February's Fresh Chef Specials. The burger of the month is the Shrimp Po' Boy. Oh boy. Fried shrimp with lettuce, tomato, pickles, topped with remoulade sauce on a hoagie. And sip on February's cocktail of the month, a glass of Sazerac to warm you up. Old Overholt Rye with Peychaun's bitters, a sugar cube, herb saint, and a twist of lemon. But that's not all. The League's menu now features 2 tasty appetizers, the jalapeno pepperoni flatbread and the farro salad, and 2 new entrees, grilled Angus ribeye and blackened ahi tuna. So whether you're looking for a place to watch the game, enjoy chef-inspired comfort food, or both, check out The League with 4 locally owned and operated locations in Avery Ranch, Bee Caves, Belterra, and Lakeway. It's The League Kitchen and Tavern.
AM 1300 The Zone occasionally holds contests. For more information about contests on this station, go to am1300thezone.com/rules.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate, or hiring someone to move your piano instead of doing it yourself. So, do things the better way. Bundle home and auto and save up to 25% with Allstate.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Is it time for a new car? Don't know where to go? I'm going to tell you. It's Apple Leasing. And you can call them 346-9977. That's a great thing. You just call them up. You don't have to go to the dealership, right? Call them up at 346-9977. Just say, hey, I want to trade in the car that I've got. I want to get a brand new car that's under lease. And I want my payment to be lower than if I were to finance that exact same car. That's what happens at Apple Leasing. And trust me, it is easy. I've done it for over 20 years with Apple Leasing. The number to call, 346-9977. If you're in a lease, don't freak out. Apple Leasing specializes in getting you out of that lease and into something new. Brand new, any make, any model, whatever you want. Call Apple Leasing. It's so easy. 346-9977. That's 346-9977. Or find them online. Just go to appleleasing.com.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of hundreds of thousands of titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
I enlisted in the Army to find out the truth about my grandfather's murder. And I think it's somehow related to his time in Vietnam when he was a part of the 6th Psychological Operations Battalion. They created something called Ghost Tape. A recording of a wandering spirit telling Vietnamese soldiers to stop fighting and go home.
You have to destroy it, Tessa! No! Get away from her!
My name is Tessa Dixon. I was a recruit at Fort Taylor in Texas.
Did you hear that?
Q-Code presents Ghost Tape, starring Kiersey Clemens.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one app.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone presents the Harsh Knocks Life Show. Join Mike Harsh weekdays 7 to 9 a.m. only on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. And we're back to the Craig Way Show. Have a message for Craig? Share it by using the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app.
What a tale my thoughts could tell, just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well, in a castle dark or a fortress strong, with chains upon my feet. You know that ghost is me.
The great Gordon Lightfoot. Lost him, I think, a year or so ago. Great Gordon Lightfoot. Familiar with the Gordon Lightfoot catalog, by the way? You would probably know some of his bigger hits. This is one of his bigger hits, by the way, if you could read my mind. What year is this, 74?
71.
71. Okay. You would probably know The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, 1975. Billy Joel in an interview said that when he wrote the song, She's Always a Woman to Me, he said he tried to write it in the style of Gordon Lightfoot because he always really liked Gordon Lightfoot, who was from Canada. She's always a woman. He's almost singing it like that. My favorite Gordon Lightfoot song is Carefree Highway. So it's good stuff there. All right. I was talking about Texas women's basketball and getting ready for Texas Tech, the Lady Raiders tonight. Longhorns head coach Vic Schaefer, and so much conversation about Madison Booker. There's no doubt she's going to be the Big 12 Freshman of the Year, has a good chance to be the Big 12 Player of the Year as well, depending on how Texas finishes. And he was asked about how much she has grown and how much her game has grown since she had to take over the point guard spot once Rory Harmon went down with a season-ending knee injury in December.
I just think it's a comfortability and understanding her role and what I want her to do, and I just think she's a lot more comfortable in that role. She understands I want her to take care of the ball. That's still a work in progress. She understands that I need her to defend. That's still a work in progress. But she also knows that I don't want her turning down her shot either. And, when she can get to her spots on the floor, she needs to be getting her shot. And she also knows I don't want her to settle. She's a big physical guard. And when she can get all the way to the rim and finish with contact, we want her to do that as well. So just understanding those things. I think she's just way more comfortable. She knows this is her role. She's really good at it. Let's face it, y'all. The kid's really good at what she's doing right now with the ball in her hands. 10 assists, shooting almost 50% from the field on the year in conference. She's not what some of these other freshmen are across the country, volume shooters. She ain't going 6 for 32. The kid is managing a team. She is understanding and executing her role at the position that she's in right now. And she is accountable and responsible. And she's doing it on the 5th ranked team in the country. So, the fact that she's doing it at such a high level, again, I think speaks well for her and really how special the kid is.
And no doubt about it. And she's helped uplift this team. Remember, they were number 5 in the country when Rory Harmon went down with the injury and went down into the teens, the rankings, with the 3 losses that they sustained all in conference play. But they've worked it all the way back up, back to number 5 in the country again. If you had asked me before the Rory Harmon injury, did I think this was a Final Four team? I would have said absolutely. The way they dismantled UConn, the way they had played early, I said, yes, this is definitely going to be a Final Four team. Then after the Rory Harmon injury, I would have said, no, it's not going to happen because they've lost their leader. They've lost their defensive leader. Now, I don't know. It might require the right kind of draw. And remember, the women's tournament does not have 4 regional sites for Sweet 16 Elite Eight. They have 2. And they play 2 regional semifinals and 2 regional finals. In other words, 2 Sweet 16, or I guess it'd be 4 Sweet 16 games, and then 2 Elite 8 games in Albany and 2 Elite 8 games in Portland. And they're doing that as an attendance-driven measure. So they do 2 regional sites. So, and that's after hosting first and second round. If you're a seed of 1 through 4, and Texas is going to be that. So the Texas women will be at home in the first and second round. Then they'd either be going to Albany or Spokane, or Albany or Portland. And so Vic Schaefer was asked, now with the way this team has turned its season around, now with the way that they've won 6 in a row, now with the way that Madison Booker has stepped up, and now with the way that they're pushing toward making it back-to-back conference championships, is this Texas team a Final Four caliber team?
I think we've got to continue to get better in a couple areas. One, I think we've got to take better care of the ball. I think 2, we got to become a little bit better defensively. And then 3, I think our offensive execution has to really, really get better. But I certainly think this team is nowhere near, what they can be. I think they've achieved a lot though. And, they've excelled in a lot of ways. If I ask this incredible Hall of Fame panel here today, back on December 27th, when Rory Harmon went down, who on this panel would say on February 20th, we'd be 24-3 and ranked number 5 in the country? And it certainly might be a fair question, but what you don't ever want to put limitations on anything, and you never know what's inside the breastplate of an individual. And I think what you found out with these kids, you're finding out what's inside their breastplate. And I think it's all in how you approach things. If y'all remember in the Apollo 13 movie, if you'll remember in Mission Control in the room, they were talking about, oh my God, this is going to be the worst thing. We've lost our astronauts. This is going to be the worst thing for NASA and the United States of America. And if you'll remember, Mission Control, the guy in charge of Mission Control said, I don't think that's the case at all. I think this is going to be our finest hour. And, again, we got 2 weeks left, but to date, what these kids have done, what this team has done, what my staff has done, they have risen to the occasion, and it has become our finest hour. And nobody wants to go through it. Your heart aches. This team was built. You can go your whole career, y'all, and build a team, for a season, build for seasons, and have that team that you go, hey, this team's got a chance to win it all. And to lose a player like a Rory Harmon, the heartbeat of your team, the engine, and then to basically have open heart surgery. We basically had a quadruple bypass is what we had with our team. You got to go back, and when that happens, you had a major heart attack. And the first thing you're trying to do is just stay alive. The second thing you're trying to do is get back. The problem is I don't have a 6-month recovery time. We had 3 days to get ready for Baylor and a Big 12 schedule. And so now what you find out is our heartbeat can still beat, and it can beat really strong. You just got to do some rewiring and got to move some valves and some arteries and some veins around like you would in a quadruple bypass heart surgery. And once you do that, you find you got a hell of a heart. And this team's got one hell of a heart.
Don't you just love Vic Schaefer when he gets on a roll? I like that. I like his Apollo 13 reference. Gene Kranz, he's talking about the director of Mission Control, Flight Operations, NASA, who later wrote a book about that, and it was simply entitled Failure is Not an Option. And they've kind of taken that to heart, the failure is not an option thing. By the way, Charlie Cream in his bracketology for women's basketball has Texas as a 2 seed, hosting in Austin against Albany, which would be an automatic qualifier. I watched the Great Danes play the other night, the women's basketball team there, and would play the winner of a 7-10 matchup between North Carolina and Penn State. He's got them in what's called Portland 2, which would be the number 2 seeded, highest seed. South Carolina and Albany 1. Stanford is the 1 seed in Portland 2. Oregon State is the highest number 2 seed in Albany 1. Portland number 4. He's got Iowa as a 1 seed, NC State is a 2, and Albany 3, Ohio State is a 1, and USC is a 2. But he's got Texas there as number 2 seed there and hosting, and then would be on the Portland. That's his bracketology. We'll be back to wrap up the hour here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone and the iHeartRadio app. Hey there, Texas fans. This is the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way, inviting you to join us for this year's edition of Longhorn Basketball. We'll bring you all the action all season long, including in-depth analysis and exclusive access to players and coaches before the opening tip and after the final whistle. And every week, we'll talk with Texas head coach Rodney Terry on Longhorn Weekly, live from Pluckers, the West Campus location in Austin. This is your exclusive source for Texas basketball.
Texas basketball plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Hey, Texas sports fans. Shannon Sweeney here, and it's time for basketball. Thomas J. Henry Law is thrilled to be part of the action with Texas basketball game broadcasts. The athletes give it their all on the court, and Thomas J. Henry and over 250 attorneys give it their all when it comes to helping you and your family get the justice you deserve. Whether it's on the court or in the courtroom, dedication, strategy, and teamwork is crucial. For over 30 years, Thomas J. Henry Law has been committed to securing meaningful results for injured people and their families. This year, they are inviting the communities they serve to join them in celebrating 30 years of client success with major community events and giveaways. After all, their law firm would be nothing without the communities and individuals they serve. Visit tjhlaw.com to find out more. If you or a loved one has been injured, their attorneys are available 24/7 to help you. They have the reputation and resources to handle any case, and free consultations with no fees collected unless they win for you. Let's get into the Texas basketball action this season, sponsored by Thomas J. Henry Law. On and off the court, it's all about the win.
Thomas J. Henry has been featured in Forbes magazine, Fortune magazine, and Bloomberg Business Week for securing record-breaking results for clients injured in accidents. For more info or to start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com. San Antonio, Texas.
Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. We are the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. No sharks or competitive leagues. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 players' stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. Last week, I won over $200 picking basketball, and this week, I feel even better about my picks. This week on Prize Picks, I'm taking the Joker for more than 10 rebounds and Luka Doncic for more than 32 points. Both guys have been on a tear recently. I'll tell you, it's like stealing money. Download the app today and use the code Parker for your first deposit match of up to $100. That's code Parker on Prize Picks for a deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less, It's that easy.
License number M18951, THCLB 76656E.
A lot of businesses talk about fast service, but then you find out those promises didn't mean much.
Yeah, that's when your definition of fast is very different than the service providers.
When it comes to plumbing emergencies, a promise like same-day service really matters.
Especially when you're standing in 2 inches of water in your living room.
Absolutely. You know, Sarah and I started Radiant Plumbing and Air Conditioning here in Austin in 1999.
Gosh.
So we've seen some bad plumbing emergencies.
Remember the guy who opened his front door and toilet water literally flowed out onto the porch?
Yeah, and you know that wasn't just water either.
Gross, gross, gross.
That was bad.
We're committed to giving you same-day emergency service.
Because when your pipes back up or your water stops running, you can't wait for help.
Radiant Plumbing and Air Conditioning, same-day emergency service.
When quick response matters, call Radiant, 263-9988.
There's no extra charge, just extra speedy response. I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's do your part again.
What?
When you were hunting, did you miss that shot? Do you think it was the rifle or the scope? Did you jerk the trigger? Better go see the gunsmith at McBride's Guns. Let them check out the weapon or scope. Then you'll know for sure whether it was you or the weapon. They will fix you up with whatever you need as well. McBride's Guns, 30th and North Lamar, where the hunt begins since 1960. Or McBride'sGuns.com.
Your garage door won't go up or down, so give us a call. We're all over town. Promise to you is honest and fair. The real Cedar Park overhead doors. The garage door on your house needs repairs. Call Cedar Park Doors and we'll be there. We'll get there fast and we'll treat you fair. Call Cedar Park Overhead Doors.
When is a garage door emergency repair truly an emergency? When it happens to you, of course. When you need it repaired done fast. Trust the experts to get it done now. Call the real Cedar Park Overhead Doors. Trust our family to fix it right the first time. For over 30 years, when our phone rings, we're ready to serve all your garage door needs. So when that spring goes sprung or you forget to open the door when backing out, we'll be there for you. Customer first, that's honest and fair. We're here for you 24 hours a day and online at cedarparkgaragedoors.com.
We work really hard while the other guy snores. Happy customers, we have more. We'll get it right and we'll get the job done. For Cedar Park Overhead Doors. 335-7441.
AM 1300 The Zone is KBET Austin. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports talk, podcasts, and music. Free never sounded so good. Listen to Mike Hardball Harsh, weekdays 7 to 9 a.m. on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Very quickly to the text line where you can text us at 81530. You text the word Texas followed by your question or comment to 81530. Standard messaging and data rates may apply. Somebody asked, could you get Fran Frischel on the show sometime? We normally get Fran one time because of his busy schedule, and it's usually the week of the NCAA tournament, or Big 12 tournament. So I'm kind of saving my chip for that one. Somebody said, next time you're at Buc-ee's, get a beaver tail.
What's that?
A beaver tail. They will not disappoint. You can't eat it in the parking lot, though, because if you do, you want to go back in and get another one.
Okay.
How about that?
Huh.
Said I had a short-lived Dad of the Year reign when I caught not one but two foul balls for my sons at a Round Rock Express game. Well done, sir. And they said when talking about that special home run, maybe it was the Aaron Judge.
Yeah, the 60 home run year. Yep.
Yeah, could have been that. Absolutely. All right, we have one more hour of the program, and we'll hear more from Vic Schaefer. And we're going to he'll talk about tonight's opponent, Texas Tech. And we're going to visit with Gene Watson, the Chicago White Sox, talk some Major League Baseball spring training ball as we bring you the final hour of the program. Don't forget, Texas women's basketball, 7 o'clock tonight on 103.1 FM, 640 Fairway airtime, Texas against Texas Tech. Hour number 3 coming up on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.